Yes. I think there is a high chance. We forecast that at around 71% at Verisk Maplecroft. And I think the risks are here going forward, the leadership contest in the five-star movement, but also it's just the election dynamics at the moment. We see that the governing party keep losing elections. I mean, they've won here in Emilia-Romagna, but the fact that it had to be turned into such a monumentous election rather than just a regional election that's been in the hands of the left-wing parties for 75 years does tell something for the government stability.
Franca, I spoke to Mr. Gualtieri last week, the finance minister as well, and despite my, I thought, quite forceful probing, everything was awesome. There was no problem in the banks, there was no problem with the reforms, there was no problem with the government, there was no problem in Emilia-Romagna as well. I've got to say, is Mr. Gualtieri wrong?
Yes, I would think so. I think long-term thinking, I mean, what else is he supposed to say? He really has to keep the government together and they have to kind of portray unity at the moment. But at the same time, there's so much coming forward just that will risk that government stability. And the PD is maybe performing slightly better than the M5S movement. But at the same time, even the PD has struggled. It's like it hasn't really increased its vote share, and in those regional elections you've seen they're also struggling. So there's lots of ideological divisions and that leadership compass.
Absolutely, and Italian politics, which is always fragmented, it always appears to me that it's even more fragmented now. But the populist movement is fragmenting as well, from whether it's Fratelli d'Italia to the Five Star to the Sardines movement, the anti-Salvini movement as well. So is there if there were elections, is there a consensus that is large enough that would keep Salvini out of power?
At the moment, I wouldn't think so. It's just they really pull together those numbers, and it's just taking them all together. I would struggle to see how any other coalition would come together. And I think then they would also probably have a democratic issue. Then how can you, for a party that's been, or for a coalition government that's been losing in polls since the 2018 elections, how can then they say in the next election, oh, we have the legitimacy to carry on?
So to bringing it back to our bread and butter, the markets and the market impact here, do you feel that we're going to see a widening of bond yield spreads between Italy and Germany? And what kind of relationship do you think we could have in future between Rome and Brussels?
Yeah, we think there is definitely a risk of that happening. At the moment, following the election, you first saw a little bit of a spike in the bond spread yield. But then it calmed down a little bit, since I think the general idea is the government will hold on for a couple of months at least. But yes, I mean, when Salvini was in government, we saw massive tensions with Brussels, the risk of excessive deficit procedure. And I think as soon as, like, going forward with the March leadership contest in the five-star movement and all of that, that will just continuously lead to spikes.
Well, Italy is already in your extreme risk category in the public debt category, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, just after Greece, it's the country with the highest debt burden. And considering that it's now, with the UK leaving, going to be the third largest economy in Europe, there's more risk there.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.